All right, girls. This is just a little bit of video that I wanted to review with you that covers kind of some of the bigger things that we've been trying to get through within training, but just also gives you really a look at the highest level in terms of what the players are like, what they're doing on and off the ball, the kind of intensity that they're bringing, and so on and so forth. So what I did was I just broke this down into a few different sections. The first couple pieces talk about, just real general parts of the game that I let play for a little bit longer. And then we get into kind of an offensive phase, a defensive phase, and then we kind of look at just a couple set plays. What I will do is I will also send you the link on YouTube to watch this game in full if you want. But what I did was I just used the game to break it down in our Game Breaker software, and then just give you some insight using the marker and stuff like that. So so we'll start off. This is obviously the 2014 NWSL Championship game. You have the Seattle Reign and then Kansas City. So in this game, Seattle, which is the team in the black and the blue, is a little bit of kind of what we would like to see from you guys. So when watching the game, you can kind of watch it. They end up losing the game, but for the most part, have a good amount of control of the game. Kansas City kind of settles in a little bit, but what we did was I just picked both teams and kind of evaluated different sides from each of them. So. All right, so what we'll do is I'll just play it. I will also share this link with you and stuff like that, but just right now, I'm using a screencast on my laptop in order to kind of show you the video and mark it up. Okay, so really in the first part of it, really you're just looking at kind of their movement, the body language, and stuff like that in terms of, what they're doing on the ball, how hard they're working for the ball. Their support behind the ball, in front of the ball. And then here it's just a bunch of different things in terms of technique, working the ball, receiving the ball with the correct foot right there, setting yourself up for a cross. And then obviously something there, which I think we struggle with, are the ball's challenge in the air. Okay, so this outside back does a very nice job receiving the ball with a good first touch to take her forward. All right, plays a nice ball into the box, and then just look at them challenging for the ball, fighting for it, clearing it, doing whatever they can to not allow them to win the ball. Seattle is very good at winning the second ball. You can see the physicality here, just in terms of how hard they're fighting on and off the ball, quick combination play. But just all over the field, this little span of play just kind of shows, essentially, I guess, why these two teams were in the final. The one area here that we want to kind of look at is the pressing of Seattle. So again, Seattle's the black and the blue team. All right, they lose the ball and they work hard to win the ball back. All right, so whoever has it, they're working as a team to win the ball back. They're not letting the Kansas City team get any free passes, and they're all pressing on the opponent's outlets. Okay, and then it leads to a set play there that they're going to get a chance at. Okay. Here you'll see a little bit just good ball movement. All right, but again, you see the intensity of Seattle in terms of how they're going to press you and just try to put you under pressure right away. Okay, but here you have Kansas City does a nice job of keeping possession. The one thing I want you to see is just how they're receiving the ball, keeping their head up, looking for different options. Not afraid to play backwards the way that they're facing to kind of relieve that pressure. Not everything has to be perfect and not everything has to go forward. All right, but you can see just the way their heads are up as they're touching the ball, looking, scanning the different options that they have. All right. One thing you could have said there is that the center midfielder right here, okay, probably could have taken a little bit better touch to kind of open her body up. All right, so right there, she sets herself up to come back in this direction, whereas she can turn, right? She can just do a little half turn here, and then if this center back comes a little bit up higher, now they can work the ball there, and then all the way out to their left back. But you can even see now their center backs are being willing to be supportive, And then when they get the ball, that allows their outside backs to move up a little bit higher. Okay, and essentially, if you're having a 4v4 here in the midfield, but if she receives it, they might be able to work it out a little bit quicker. Okay. What ends up happening is there's a nice pass by the next player here. All right. So the right back ends up playing a nice switch with her left foot to switch the field. And again, you see her first touch forward, keeping her head up as she's dribbling, scanning the field. All right, and then here, a nice early ball into the box. Okay. What I want you to focus on here are these would be backs, outside backs. All right, but tracking your marks, and you're going to see the outside back's body position. Number 14 here is not aware at all of number 9 on this side. So as the cross is coming in, she's unaware, and then Hope Solo is on the line. So she wasn't even aware if this run was timed a little bit better, or she had the chance to get in, she's in free on net. Okay, so it's a good idea in terms of offensively. Sometimes it's good to play those early balls in. But again, they had the ball back there, and you see that the numbers they have forward, they have 2v2 in the box. Okay. All right, so I would say that number 14 has to do a little bit better job. All right, here we're just going to go back and we'll see a little bit of just look at the challenge for this ball. And this is one of a shorter player on the field against a taller player. But that's the kind of intensity that I think we have to play with. Here we're going to notice just good technique on a header. All right. And then here, okay, so something that we take for granted in terms of our play. Okay, watch to where the throw is. The throw is right to her feet. Okay, she's able to control that's Megan Rapinoe. She's able to control the ball and then start their offense out of it. Okay, so good throws, really do matter. Okay, in this little sequence here, you're going to see a bit of, physical play, but just see how hard they're working on and off the ball. This player, Little for Seattle, is probably one of the more skilled players. So, if you're watching the game in full, kind of watch that. Watch her play, but you see just the physicality that they're bringing to the game. This is a championship, and they're going to really kind of fight for it and willing to do whatever they can to try to win the game. But you see Seattle just keeps putting the pressure, and then here, a very good defensive header here. All right, and not only does 14 has a good left foot, and we'll see her as she takes her touches in the beginning, drives the ball well, but the header goes high and wide. Okay, so that gives her team a chance to set up defensively. Even though Seattle wins the second ball, it gives them a chance to set up defensively. And then we have another great defensive header there. Okay, so some things that we struggle with in terms of, aerial balls and stuff like that, and some of the stuff you got in your evaluations, they're doing well here in terms of clearing the ball off the line, blocking shots, putting in tackles, pressuring hard, and stuff like that. So, those are some things that we need to focus on. But again, you can rewind this and keep watching this over and over as much as you want, just to get that kind of sense of what we're looking for. Okay. Here we're going to look at some of the offensive just movement and stuff like that off the ball, spacing and of the different players. Okay. So here Seattle ends up getting possession. This is their center back. Okay, so their right center back, number 11 is one of their holding midfielders who comes in. But as you look, the ball played back, you see the spacing between the two center backs. Okay, and that gives Hope Solo some space to play. The defensive midfielder, number 11, drops in. But what that does is that allows the outside backs to get a little bit higher. All right, obviously number 8, one of the more skilled players, probably could have played a 1-2 a little bit earlier. But you just see they're patient of playing the ball, keeping the ball moving. Okay, even though they have time, they're only taking a few touches on the ball. But you can see how they're receiving the ball, and then you have little bits of creativity and stuff like that. But again, just the ability that some of these players have. All right, here you're going to see them kind of work the ball out of the back. But what you see is that you constantly see them moving. Okay, and the one thing I want you to see is just if we watch this center midfielder here. All right, as the ball's moving and there's a little bit of rotation, right there she just checked her shoulder to make sure she has space, okay, to her left. So we see again, quick check just to make sure she's in the right space, she's in a good window. And you notice that she's always in a window. She's not standing behind a defender as she receives the ball. Okay, and that little bit of possession and that movement springs, you know, this type of player. Okay, which is Cheney. Okay, um, so what you have is what I would say about Seattle is the spacing between their backs and their midfield. All right, so you have all this space for Cheney to receive the ball and kind of go at the backs. Okay, and then what I want you to watch here is the movement of the forward. All right, so playing with a single forward. All right, so what she does there is she engages both center backs. Okay, so you can see now the dribbler on the ball is dribbling at speed. Okay, the forward engages both center backs. Okay, so if you can kind of see their body language here, and then watch her run off the ball. Okay, she's not waiting, she's not jogging, she's not waiting for something else to happen. Her movement off the ball now draws one center back in, creates space that she runs into, and gets the ball played to her. All right, which sets her up for a good finish. All right, but again, if we just watch that, you know, 7 getting in the windows, always supporting, always trying to get the ball. They're spread out. All right, and then they cause a break here. You just see this movement off the ball. It's just fantastic, and it leaves really the center backs in no man's land. Right here again is just good skilled composure on the ball. Watch the feet that they're receiving the ball with. All right, always across their body. Okay, this was a good check-in. All right, that creates a good cross. Okay, the one thing I want us to see too is as we're crossing, okay, that's a good cross because it's near post. Okay, so whenever we have runners into the box, I always want to see a near post run. Okay, so you're going to see Rodriguez come running in. All right, unlucky finish, but the ball and the run were good. We always, no matter what, have to put importance on the near post run. All right, again, a good throw in. All right, just look at how comfortable they are on the ball. They know they can play backwards, so they have that support. All right, but here, all right, good bit of turn. We do that often. All right, and then what I want to show here is, you know, a little bit of ambition, but you know, in terms of what we've been talking about recently, in terms of just, it doesn't have to be perfect. We don't have to walk the ball in the goal, but what has to happen is we have to be able to be willing to just create little chances, you know, on our own. Okay, so again, what we'll start with is we'll see again 8. Anybody who wants to be an attacking midfielder, I would watch 8 play, and I'd watch the whole game in terms of how she has an impact on it. Quick turn with the outside of the foot. She checked over her shoulder first, received the ball. Now Rapinoe is just going to go 1v1. Whenever she has space, she's going to try to take a shot. Okay, so she didn't have a ton of space, but when she did get the space, she ended up taking the shot. Okay. So in this situation, what we want to kind of talk about is just look at the pressing in terms of how Seattle presses, and they win the ball back. All right, you know, in all different parts of the field, you know, they're not sitting back. You know, and you really see 2 different types of styles. Really, Kansas City is sitting back a little bit more, but once Seattle loses it, look at the pressure that they're applying all over the field. Every time a girl touches the ball, they're putting pressure on it, and they're winning the ball back in dangerous areas. So now you have the opportunities to create 1v1s, 2v2s in the final third. Okay, so even this pass, all right, they lose it, but immediately the girls on the ball are swarmed. Okay, and they're making them play backwards, face backwards, not being able to turn to face the goal. All right, and that's the important part. Okay, they're not letting them get forward and make the passes that they want to make. Okay, one thing I want to see is then when the midfielder wins the ball here, okay, when they win the ball, their pass wants to go forward. Okay, so their transition to offense, all right, even though the technique was a little bit off, the recognition of those opportunities to transition to offense quickly are always there for Seattle. And when they lose it, you know, they're still behind the ball. They're still supporting one another. The backs are supporting the midfielders. All right. But you see here, even a simple press. Okay, we put them under pressure. She takes away her back. So now she has to play a dangerous ball into the middle. Okay. And, you know, and girls at our level, they're going to make mistakes here. And we have to be able to jump on it. All right. So, you know, and essentially what you're watching here is, you know, U.S. national team players, other international teams. Okay. This, in terms of defense, is just a good show of compactness. Okay, so their midfield line is beat. All right, so you'll see kind of the backs of Seattle will kind of get condensed and squeezed together. Okay, and then they'll take that through ball away. Okay, so again they lose the ball. All right, and their midfield line here is beat. Okay, but the center backs gets condensed and aren't able to play a ball through. If anything, Kansas City would have had to play the ball wide. Okay, this is a good coming up here is a good example of for the center backs. Okay, and really anybody on the field, but the center backs, they're playing essentially 2 blocks of 4. Okay, so you can kind of see the one midfielder's out here, but 2 blocks of 4, and then what's going to happen is you'll see this ball played in. One center back goes to attack it. The other center back drops in behind, okay, to make sure, because she didn't win it, but there was also cover there provided for her, okay? So what we have here is just, they're holding midfielders dropping off a little bit deep into the back line, and then you have essentially like a 4-1-4 as they're playing, okay? So there's the left back out here, center back, left back, holding mid. There's a block of 4 here, and then the lone striker kind of playing there, okay? But a lot of times you'll see the difference in terms of Seattle was more of a high pressing team, and Kansas City's kind of sitting back, getting organized, and really trying to make them do something special to kind of get through there. But here, one center back goes up, the other back gives cover, and the keeper's in a good position as well. All right, here again is just a little bit more examples of the pressing, okay, and the quick transition forward, okay. So what you'll see, they're taking away their options. All right, touch, bad touch, and then her first touch is forward, just spring them, okay? And then now we have to have creativity off the ball, all right, a little bit of speed, getting the shots in, all right? But look how hard they're working to get up front, okay? Look at how hard they're working. It puts their backs under pressure because now they have to sprint backwards facing their goal, okay? As opposed to being able to just face up and kind of wait for you guys to come in. They're really hustling to get into the box and get in for the cross. All right, the cross could have been a little bit better there, especially when you have a 2v2 in the middle. You can hopefully pick out a player. All right, so here's just good pressing again. All right, winning the ball. And the first thing, what they do is this is a different example. They win the ball back. All right, and she completes a pass. Now that pass takes away one line of their players. Okay, so now you're putting in a very talented offensive player in on goal. All right, or into the offensive third. Okay. And again, what she shows here, and this is Rapinoe, constantly plays and starts for the U.S. All right, she doesn't have anything, so she just turns and plays possession. She waits for the moment to play. She doesn't force. All right, she waits for here. We have a good play, 1v1. Gets the ball in. Should have been a goal. All right. But here, not a great finish. You'll see in a second. But what we have is these backs, okay? You have to, when the ball is getting crossed, we have to keep track of our marks, okay? Don't get caught just focusing on the ball. We got to watch the ball and the player. And you can see that this defensive player here, her body's facing the goal, okay? All right, it's really bad marking in terms of that. Should have been a better finish. All right, finally, one area where we struggle a little bit is our set play defending. Okay, so in this instance, you can see how tight they are. They're giving them the 18 line. They're giving them inside the box to play. But when you watch the physicality and the desire to kind of stay with their marks, all right, and then challenge the ball, and then again, the second girl hit it, kind of kept the ball in, but the header was good wide. Okay. And then here is just a defensive corner kick. I mean, she murders the ball, drills it across the box, which is a good service. But, again, challenging the ball, a good header away from pressure. All right, so, overall, we just wanted to kind of just see some of the different things that we can focus on, and kind of see it at the professional level. But watch it through, see how hard they go for each ball, how they receive each ball, their willingness to challenge aerial balls, the 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 pressure that they apply to the other teams when they're not in possession, and just kind of see some of the things that we talk about are really executed well. And I really for this first video, I just looked at the first half of the game. So you can really take the time to watch the whole game on your own, see how the game develops, but just take notes. Pick a player. If you're an attacking midfielder, follow number 8. If you're a lone striker, follow A-Rod on Kansas City. If you're a holding midfielder, watch number 11 on Seattle. You can pick players out and watch how they're playing those games, and see how the outside backs are receiving the ball, what their technique is when they're driving the ball. But really, it's the stuff, the physical and the tactical stuff that you can watch. Watch a game to get better. Don't just watch a game as a fan. Watch the game to take notes and focus on a specific player or a specific block of players, or the team as a whole, but focus on their team shape and stuff like that. And if you can do that, you're going to get better on the field, and you're going to see some improvement in your game. Okay, so, but these are just some things I might refer back to during practice and training. But if there's any questions about this or anything else, don't hesitate to ask. And I will also I will give you the YouTube link for the entire game so you can watch it at any time. And I hope this helped. All right, we'll see everybody at training on Tuesday night.